I got my information on the casinos from the casino developers themselves, mostly.
From the newspaper.
Online news sources, as well as opinion columns in the newspaper and the official MGM Springfield site.
Involved in the chambers of commerce and have heard a few presentations from the casinos, so I have an idea of what they propose to bring to the table.
So again, I think it just begs the question, we really need to look at having a regional discussion, informed and as objective as possible around how and if the casino would be a benefit or detriment to the Pioneer Valley. And so in our last question, or the last question for me, is what effect do you think a casino had on other communities in the Pioneer Valley? And as you can see, based on the results of our survey, it was pretty evenly spread across. There was somewhat positive, somewhat negative, and somewhat neutral. Thank you.
All right, so we were looking to start a regional conversation on how residents of the Pioneer Valley are collaborating together. All right, so I'm going to skip around here if you don't mind, go forward a bit, and then we'll go back to the footage afterwards. But the first question that we asked, one of the questions we asked is, do you think towns in the Pioneer Valley are collaborating effectively to address the issues facing the entire region? And the answer is overwhelmingly no. You know, if you look at the news today, you see a lot of conversation either within each town about what casino is right for their town, or it seems to be a fight amongst towns to get the casino to come to their area. It's almost a zero-sum game. When you look at, Richard Blumenthal, who's now senator in Connecticut, when he was Attorney General, he said his biggest mistake on the casinos was not taking the needs of the surrounding communities into effect when he gave them to the towns that they went in. So let's roll some of the footage for people's opinions on the collaboration.
Do you think the cities and towns in Pioneer Valley have collaborated effectively to address the issues facing the entire region as it relates to a casino?
Yes, pretty much from what I can see in the paper, they have collaborated pretty well.
No, because they should actually go out and get into the sectors of all the different places of the city.
I thought that cities and towns have collaborated. I don't think there's been much collaboration yet because I think, cities and towns are still competing for the casino itself. I hope that once the site is chosen in Western Massachusetts, that there will be further collaboration as the process evolves.
I feel like everyone's on the same page as far as the casino goes. There is a lot of competition, I feel, on where it's going to be located, good or bad. I don't know if everyone's cooperating or everyone's in it for themselves, but as far as an outsider looking in, I feel that everyone's on the same page.
No, I don't think so. I think this has very much been kind of a silo approach. Everybody's looking out for number one, which is understandable, but I don't think they've worked as a community to inform the various communities how that ripple effect will work. So
I'm not really aware of the ways in which the towns in the Pioneer Valley have collaborated in this respect.
So, while our survey shows overwhelmingly that people aren't collaborating, or that the cities and towns of the region aren't collaborating effectively, I think people want to. When we asked whether people would be willing to share money in resources that a casino generated within the host town with other communities, overwhelmingly people want the casino to benefit the entire Pioneer Valley. And if you keep in mind that the majority of survey participants came from Springfield, the Springfield area, which is most likely probably going to get the casino, people want to do the right thing and they want the casino to be an economic driver for the entire region. The question is, how do we create the forum and the leadership to push it forward?
So the next question that we asked everyone was, if you do have suggestions, if you don't feel like we're collaborating effectively, how would you get your community to be more involved? We asked, would you be interested in participating in an online forum? So people want collaboration, but they don't want to participate in it. So we have about 50% of our respondents said, no, I don't want to participate in an online forum. Perhaps people just don't like online forums. Maybe that's the wrong direction to go in. But people did have a lot of suggestions about other ways to collaborate. So we'll watch some of that footage.
And do you have any suggestions for how to get your community more involved in the discussion about casinos?
Based on my experience, I get my information from forums that local businesses hold, such as South Bakery, I also watch the news, get involved, and listen to Dominic Sarno. As far as the MGM talks go, just general conversations with people, just bring it up.
You can utilize some of the conduits we already have, whether it be the mayors get together in a forum, whether the chambers of commerce or some of the other agencies, Rotary clubs, whatever there might be.
If they held events where they gave free things away, a lot of free things, that might draw people in. Putting it on the news, a lot of people watch the news, so that's a good way to spread the word.
We should get representatives from the towns in the Pioneer Valley who would be most affected, as well as perhaps representatives from some of the major institutions, and have a panel with the government officials of Springfield and the representatives of MGM to talk about our concerns and what MGM might bring to it.
I think the Pioneer Valley, the Convention Bureau, some of these agencies and groups that are out there now should be working together and force the issue to be broad stroke as opposed to specific to the individual towns.
Get involved in any which way you can, for the good or the bad, or...
So ask yourself what your suggestion would be. Then we had a lot of community member recommendations within our actual survey. Town representatives having forums that intelligently explore options, working with the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. A regional committee made up of leaders from each municipality. More targeted outreach. So this person made suggestions about senior centers, Rotary clubs, voting booths, and definitely online forums, kind of in opposition to our general public there. Each town should have a town meeting for discussion, and then a delegate from each town should come to a more regional meeting, which is, in some ways, what we're doing here through LPV. And finally, op-ed pieces, hosting meetings, and providing more data. And this suggested providing data from other communities in other states, which is essentially, in a lot of ways, what the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission city-to-city group did.
So what can we conclude from our survey? Well, I think the first thing we can conclude is that technology does not always work the way that you expect. But a regional discussion is really important. Over 60% of those who responded to our survey believed that the Pioneer Valley has not collaborated effectively to address issues facing the entire region as they relate to the possibility of a casino being built in or near their community. The survey results further show that people throughout the Pioneer Valley do want to have a regional conversation regarding what impact the construction of a casino may have on the area and in their communities. However, they, like a lot of people, don't know how to start that conversation and are a bit ambivalent when it comes to actually taking any concrete steps. This leads to the question, how does one effectively move any regional conversation forward, especially as it relates to the issue of casinos? Over 60 of our respondents expressed interest in answering the question I just posed, and among them generated some very promising ideas, as you've seen from some of our slides. As we've come to learn through our own Leadership Pioneer Valley journey, some truly great things can be accomplished by a dedicated few. It is our hope that the ideas produced by our respondents can be translated into real action with the assistance from leadership born from the next Leadership Pioneer Valley class, and perhaps in conjunction with another organization such as the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. In fact, we learned that the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission has an existing casino initiative called the Western Massachusetts Casino Task Force. Perhaps with their help, the next class of Leadership Pioneer Valley leaders will generate an even larger regional conversation that will change how the entire Pioneer Valley approaches regional issues overall. In closing, and if all goes well, we'd like to share some of our personal reflections about our project and the project process.
No, we don't have time. Sorry.
It's an
don't have
awesome
time.
video you get to watch. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.